Imagine for a moment that you are the most famous artist in the world. Your voice echoes across every continent. Your songs play non-stop on the radio. Your music videos revolutionize the industry. And your concerts attract crowds as if they were historic events. Now imagine that, at the very peak of your success, a simple production error threatens to stain your career forever. Sounds impossible, right? But that is exactly what happened to Michael Jackson, the king of pop, an artist who seemed untouchable, but who almost saw his legacy collapse in front of millions of people. eyes because of a detail that spiraled out of control. Today, I'm going to tell you that story, and you'll understand how even the greatest geniuses of music are not safe from human mistakes. Michael Jackson was not just a singer. He was a phenomenon. From his childhood days with the Jackson 5, he already drew attention. But it was in his solo career that he truly became a legend. His albums broke records, his performances were considered untouchable, and every step he took was followed by fans and critics around the world. But along with the glory came enormous pressure. Michael accepted nothing less than perfection. He would spend endless hours in studios, rehearsing choreography to exhaustion, reviewing every detail of a production. For him, there was no room for mistakes. And yet, destiny always finds a way to remind us that even those who touch myth remain deeply human. In 1984, Michael was at the height of his career with the album Thriller, which had already become the best-selling record of all time. At that moment, he was invited to film a Pepsi commercial, part of a multi-million-dollar deal with him and his family. The idea was simple: show Michael as the idol of a new generation, tied to a young, vibrant brand. But what seemed like just another marketing move turned into a tragedy in front of the cameras. During one of the takes, pyrotechnic effects were miscalculated and set Michael's hair on fire. In seconds, the biggest artist on the planet was engulfed in flames. The scene shocked everyone. Security guards rushed in, producers panicked, and Michael was rushed to the hospital with second- and third-degree burns on his scalp. This accident could have been just a setback, but what came afterward was even more dangerous. To treat the pain, Michael was given extremely strong medication, and many believe this was the beginning of his long, complicated relationship with painkillers and controlled substances. One production error, one miscalculation, and suddenly the king of pop was trapped in a silent battle with dependency, something that would haunt him for the rest of his life and become constant fuel for the media to question his image. But that wasn't the only time his legacy was at risk. In 1995, he released the album History. The intention was to create a monumental work, mixing past hits with new songs filled with personal messages. But critics argued that the production was excessive, with heavy arrangements and lyrics that sounded like outbursts from someone at war with the world. Fans were divided. Some adored it, while others felt Michael had lost his touch. The media was quick to claim his genius was in decline. Another misstep happened during the Dangerous tour in the early 90s. The production was so ambitious, with giant stages, magic tricks, and Broadway-level sets, that execution often slipped out of control. In some cities, delays were massive, equipment failed, and rumors spread that costs were spiraling. Critics said Michael was more concerned with building a machine of special effects than with focusing on the music itself. For an artist obsessed with perfection, those failures became ammunition for his detractors. And then there was the handling of his personal image. Michael always wanted to be seen as a universal artist, someone above borders, ethnicities, and scandals. But poor decisions by his management and advisors constantly placed him at the center of controversy. His changing appearance, the eccentricities of Neverland, the accusations that stained his reputation, all of it was magnified because his image was not properly shielded. The result was a legacy under constant attack, with the lingering question, was Michael a misunderstood genius, or someone destroyed by the errors of those around him? Yet, the other side of this story is undeniable. Despite the errors, despite the accidents, despite the controversies, Michael Jackson remained a symbol of innovation. He refused to be paralyzed by failure. After the Pepsi accident, he went back to the studio and created music that became even more immortal. Even when the world declared him finished, he returned with music videos that changed the industry again, like Black or White and Scream. It was as if each production error became fuel for his creativity. The truth is that Michael Jackson's legacy was never truly in danger from just one mistake. He was bigger than that. His genius was in his ability to reinvent himself, to transform pain into spectacle, to use his scars as part of his story. The Pepsi fire could have ended his career, but it became only a dark footnote in a trajectory that continued to inspire generations. Still, there's no denying that the incident was the starting point for a personal struggle that slowly consumed him. The medications that began as treatment eventually became a prison, and the world witnessed the toll in the final years of his life. Michael, the man who seemed invincible on stage, was, in truth, as human as the rest of us, vulnerable to mistakes, pain, and addiction. That contradiction is precisely what makes his story so captivating. Today, more than a decade after his death, Michael Jackson remains the king of pop. His songs still play, his videos still amaze, his choreography is still copied. The production error that nearly destroyed his legacy has become a haunting chapter, but not a defining one. Because the truth is that no matter how the world tries to reduce his story to scandals or flaws, his art always speaks louder. And maybe that's the greatest lesson of all. Mistakes happen, even to the greatest geniuses in history. But what defines a legacy is not the errors. It's how you keep going after them. Michael showed the world that even burned, even criticized, even judged, he could still step on stage and make entire crowds believe they were witnessing magic. He proved that no production error, no matter how severe, could ever extinguish his light. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe this accident and those behind-the-scenes mistakes truly damaged Michael's career? Or do you think his greatness always shined above it all? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Share this video with someone who loves music. And don't forget to subscribe. Because here, you will always find curious and powerful stories that show how even the greatest idols of humanity had moments when they almost lost it all. After all, if Michael Jackson survived mistakes that could have ended his legacy, what else might we too be capable of overcoming?